Hi.
Welcome to the virtual campground. We are so glad you are here. Welcome to the virtual campground and to happy National Brothers Day.
Yeah, today's National Brothers Day. You should call your brother and tell him that you loved him. And then he could tell you you're weird for telling you that you loved him.
Yep, so...
That's my favorite set of brothers.
So,
I bet, do you think they called each other and
no,
said, hey, happy Brothers Day?
They may have used Signal.
Maybe. Yeah, they might have used Signal. But I suspect that not very many people know about Brothers Day or Sisters Day.
All those holidays.
These national days. You know what else today is? The National Asparagus Day. So I bet not many people are celebrating that either.
Where do you find these things?
There's a whole website for it. There is something every day. There's national months. There's national weeks. There's national days.
That's crazy.
You name it, we can find it.
That's crazy.
Tell me what your favorite thing is. I bet you I can find a favorite day for you.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about some project we're working on, and you said June 29th was National Camera Day.
Yep.
Who makes this stuff up? Camera manufacturers made that one up. That's who made that one up.
Yeah, depends on who. Yeah, sometimes it's based on something that happened that day and in history, and sometimes, it was a manufacturer that decided, like, National Pickle Day is definitely made by the pickle manufacturers, I'm sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we are in Holland, Michigan. It's Texas Big Hair.
Yeah.
So we are in Holland, near Holland, Michigan, technically in Zeeland, Michigan, and we're at a campground called Dutch Street, which is a nice little campground, not too far from Holland. Got a little spot tucked away. They didn't have any full hookups for us, so we had to go in the back.
But that gave us some privacy. We have electrical and water.
Yeah, electrical and water.
But we're pretty much by ourselves. So, and it's nice and green and shaded.
Yeah.
Lots of bird sounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's very close to Zeeland and to, I think it's an 11-minute drive into Holland, the heart of Holland.
Yeah.
Holland, Michigan, that is. The home of the Tulip Time Festival.
And so we have seen some tulips.
We have. We are probably 2 weeks past Tulip Time. In fact, we heard that they had a heat wave during Tulip Time week, which took a lot of them down. But we've seen a few.
We've seen a few, and I can tell you that the heat wave is not here now, because we went for a walk yesterday out to the lake, and it was brutal. So hey, Johnny Lightning, welcome. So it was very cold and windy out there.
That's nice.
Yeah,
do you just did that yesterday?
I just did that yesterday. Do you like the color one or the black and white one?
I like the color. Though the color looks pretty black and white, but yeah.
It's sort of monochromatic.
Yeah, it is.
So
got a little blue in there.
So then, we saw a windmill.
Yes, that is called Dazan windmill. It is 250. It's over 250 years old. It came from the Netherlands, tons of time ago. Long time ago. But yeah, it's the only working Dutch windmill in the United States.
That's crazy.
Who knew, right? So you see all the tulips and all the windmills. Now, during Tulip Time, which is their festival, it's a week in about middle of May. If you come during that week, I think it's a field of tulips in front of that windmill, which would be really pretty cool.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But
they plant like millions of bulbs.
As it is, we saw a few tulips, and some of them look pretty good. These were really interesting ones. Those are pretty. Those look nice. Mm-hmm. And those
the
look
big
nice.
ones. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me.
Oh, bless you. Getting live coverage of Deborah sneezing.
Sorry, I don't think I've ever sneezed on camera.
And then, so this was a really interesting tulip. It had different.
I think they call it.
Oh, really? Okay, well, that was pretty fascinating tulip. So we got to see a few tulips. It's not quite as tulipy as we'd like, but hey, we could take what we get.
That's right. We're happy to see any. Every time I see a patch, I'm like, oh, tulips. You'd think I was finding money. But it's just fun, and tulips are happy. Tulips are happy. It's just they're sad in that they don't last very long. Tulips are not a long-lasting flower. So, Johnny, I hope you're getting your mother-in-law settled in well, and we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, and you said and Skippy. Hello, Skippy. I saw Scott Chipman there.
Oh, Skippy, I was thinking about you earlier. I'm wondering where you were. Where are you right now?
It's the tulip
it might be. It was. I'll tell you. I am just gotten over our trip to Indiana, where apparently I was allergic to every tree that was pollinating right on top of our heads.
It was windy, and there was a lot of stuff falling.
So much stuff falling on our heads.
And why were we in Indianapolis? We were there because our son was graduating.
One of those little boys in that picture.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, let's go back to that picture. Okay, so where was that picture? So there, the boy on the left.
In that case, the taller one is now that boy.
That boy. So, graduated from Purdue with his master's, and
in what? What did he get a master's in, dear?
Don't ask me that. It's computer
electrical engineering,
electrical engineering,
electrical and computer engineering.
And he does something with robots. I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
He's smarter than his parents.
So yeah, we don't know what he does. He just went off to school and seems to be doing well. So and then you found a cool coffee shop. If anyone is in the Zeeland area,
if you come to this Holland area, and you can stay out here at Dutch Treat Campground, it's very nice. And then you can ride a bike, or you can do like me, in 5-minute drive to this coffee shop. It's called 6-8 Coffee Shop. It's in Zeeland, which feel the zeal in Zeeland is their motto. Nice. It's very cool. It had a bunch of Z's everywhere. But at any rate, that was a really cool coffee shop. Not only were they super friendly, great chai, but they raise money to help women. They sell items there and raise money to help women that have been that have escaped.
Escaped what?
What's it called? The sex trade.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
When they've
sex
been,
trafficking?
Yes, sex trafficking. That's the word.
Okay.
Sex trafficking. Okay. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's nice.
It's super nice and really good. Good. Yes, a coffee shop with a mission. And it was funny. I was sitting there working, and they kept rolling by in these just huge dollies of boxes in UPS boxes. And I finally asked her, I'm like, am I in a post office? Because I thought, what are they doing back there? But they were packaging up all the things people order for that these women make, and this helps give them a trade and earn money. And it was very cool and really nice items.
Nice.
I'll put a link in the show notes.
Great idea. Let's support them.
We'll support them. Yes. So anyway, and then the other thing that we found when we were driving around is, did you know this is a big area for I guess Chris Craft boating and Heinz.
Yeah,
which apparently it's their pickles. Yeah. It's their pickles. Because I read they were talking about one of the hikes, and they said it smelled sometimes like pickles. So their pickle plant is here.
Okay, well that's crazy. I didn't know. I've never seen a Heinz factory before. And
it was kind of fun to see.
I didn't know.
Yeah, we were trying to find.
Guess they got to make pickles somewhere.
Yeah, we were trying to find the ocean. I mean, not the ocean, the lake. It's as big as an ocean.
Yeah.
But we were trying to find the lake, and we couldn't find it. No. Something that big, you'd think would be pretty obvious that we could find it. But
right around here, there's a lot of private property right along the lake. So
lots of trees.
Yeah, but yesterday we found the state park. That's where those pictures were taken from.
Holland State Park. Yes, with the big red lighthouse.
Well, Scott said he's going to be in Michigan Thursday. Scott, let us know.
Which part of Michigan?
What part? Yeah.
We are here in Holland until Monday, and then we go to Proud Lake Recreation Center right outside of Detroit for 2 weeks, and then but part of that will be gone for our nephew's wedding. And then we go up to Traverse City, and then we go to, I say this wrong every time, St. Ignace.
We're getting better.
And then we go to Painted Rock.
Yep.
And then we make our way back down the Min.
And then over to the Finger Lakes.
Yes, we'll be in the Finger Lakes at the end of July.
There. Watkins Glen.
Yes. We'll be there at the end of July for somebody's birthday.
Michigan has lots of pickle farms.
Do they? Well, you mean cucumber farms because you don't have pickle
Yeah.
farms. You have cucumbers
May-
that you make
maybe
into
they
pickles.
do something special in Michigan.
Well, maybe. I don't think you pick pickles. You tried to trick me,
You
I bet,
pickle
Johnny.
pickles.
Yes,
Pickle.
but that is not how that goes. Okay, so we want to say howdy to anybody that's new. If you're new, please put a note in the chat so we can chat with you too. In addition to Johnny and Scott, who are our buddies. And so we also want to say that we're thinking about everybody in Texas.
Yes. what
Bad
a
news
tragedy.
today in Texas. Yes. Uvalde is just north of San Antonio in the hill
Somewhere
country.
right
Yeah.
on it, yeah.
So very sad news out of there. So we're thinking about everybody and sending prayers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's our home state. So got to keep a good thought for our home state of Texas.
That's right. So we also know that this is a holiday weekend. Do you know what holiday it is?
Memorial Day.
Very good. Very good. So do you know what the original name was for Memorial Day?
Remembrance Day.
No.
That would be good though.
It was at one point, I think. There wasn't a Remembrance Day, and I think in UK they call it Remembrance Day. But there is before it was Memorial Day, it was called something else. Do y'all know what it was?
I have no idea.
We'll wait and see if
Okay.
somebody thinks of it.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat might know.
All right.
Johnny seems like the kind of person that would know.
Yeah, Johnny knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else we want to... Oh, Jason and Barb coming on. Yay.
Hi, Jason and Barb. They were recently with the Kempers by chance.
Were they?
They were. They ended up at the same clinic, is what I understand. Is that right, Barb? They just happened to both go to the doctor at the
What a
same
small
time.
world.
Yes. So yeah, kind of fun. That is very fun. So yeah.
Let's see. We want to do Deborah's news?
Why not?
While we wait for... Because we have a lot of news. There are a lot of things going on. So
exactly.
let's get on to the Deborah's news while people are thinking about what was the original name for Memorial Day. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Oh, Johnny says Armistice Day.
Close? No.
No, close but no cigar. So keep Googling.
Keep Googling. Don't Google. Think.
All right.
No, you might Google. I wouldn't have known this if I hadn't looked for it.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to Deborah's News.
Well, speaking of sad news, we did have a bit of sad news here in Michigan as well. A very rare and terrible tornado swept through Gaylord, Michigan, which is just right up near where we're going to be in Traverse City, as a matter of fact. Took out a lot of buildings, made some severe damage, and in particular, like at this RV park, you can see they look like little toys. But so definitely be careful as you're going up to the UP, the Upper Peninsula, if you're going through Gaylord. And we prayers to those people that there were a couple killed, an older couple that lived in a mobile park, and many injuries. So.
And we had a virtual campgrounder that was there, or
yes,
somewhere in that area.
We did. She was actually at a campground up there in Gaylord. Luckily, they were. It didn't come near them, so that's good news. But yeah, that was kind of a frightening thing. Yeah. All my years in Texas, and I've never saw a tornado.
Yeah, well, don't say that.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
My head. Okay, and then in other strange news, a bear, not this bear, attacked a home in Wisconsin. Again, not far from where we are. Apparently, the bear was in the backyard. She was messing around with the bird feeder, and the couple inside yelled at her to try to get her to move on, and she ended up charging through the window and came into the house.
That'll teach them.
They yelled, and she was a mama bear, so I guess she was trying to protect her cubs, and the couple was injured. They're fine, but they did suffer some injuries. And just as a reminder, if you see a bear, back away, make a lot of big noise,
let
but
them have
make
the bird
sure,
seat.
let them have the bird seat, and make sure they have an escape route not through your window. So let's talk about diesel fuel, shall we?
Oh, man, no. I don't want to.
So the average price for diesel last Sunday was about $5.56. It's gone down a couple of cents, yes. Or now it's $5.56, and it was up at $5.58. That is, though, a 75% increase from a year ago, and there are some leading energy economics people that are saying it could spike up to $10 a gallon. Sadly, since we are headed to the New York area, the average price in New York or in New England area is more, and in New York particularly, it is costing about $6.52 per gallon right now. There's just fewer refineries there, and there have been some shortages even in Ohio and the Southwest. There were a few truck stops that shut down because they ran out of supplies.
Golly.
The shortages are mostly due to our refineries were retired years ago and our stockpiles have dwindled. Of course, there's been a surge in use post-COVID. Everybody's ready to get out of town, so to speak. And, of course, the war in Ukraine is making a huge difference since Russia supplied a lot of the oil before. Also, the freeze that Texas had, remember when Texas had that horrible freeze? That is still having some repercussions.
I wonder why.
I just think it took them longer to get the back up on grid, so to speak. And then also there's labor issues affect drivers of diesel fuel trucks as well. So that's all some horrible news. And and also there is a possibility that we have some propane shortages. So just things to keep an eye on. The possible good news, though, is they were looking at tapping into an emergency diesel reserve to help ease it a little bit. It was not going to be much. It's a very small reserve and a temporary solution. But recently, the global head of energy analysis at the Oil Price Information Service, say all that.
That's impressive.
Again, yeah. Tom Glazo said that the Colonial Pipeline, which is the one that goes from Houston up into New England, got up and is fully up to subscription or filled with oil is the way I take it. And he's saying that he thinks we're through the worst of it. So Pilot, Flying J, and Love's, their biggest truck stops, they're saying that they are not planning any restrictions at this time. They're monitoring it, but they're feeling pretty good about it. So they feel like they have a good contingency plan and they're getting fuel to the areas that are having issues. So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We hopefully have seen the worst of it and it'll get better. Prices might stay high for a while, but hopefully no shortages. So with that said.
Yes, that brings us to our good friends over at RV Trip Wizard, RV Life Trip Wizard. We love this app. We use it, and it can help you plan your fuel for your trip. So
it can help you figure out how long you can drive.
Yeah, what's your radius for driving, and where you need to
you
start
can get
looking
fuel.
for fuel. So you can vet those fuel stops with satellite and street view to make sure that you can get in and out safely and back on the road. And so we love it, and we happen to be affiliate members of theirs. So look for the link that we can provide you in the show notes, and go check out RV Life Trip Wizard.
Thank you for that ad in the middle of Deborah's news. And now getting back to your news. The other thing that we've, of course, been hearing ever since COVID hit is about RV shortages. And we have to say we were in Charlotte right next to a Camping World, and it looked quite full. So I was thinking, okay, shortages must be getting better.
Every time I see one of those, I think everything must be getting better.
Everything must be great because the RV lots are full. Well, that's not necessarily true. So shortages are still abounding. What you're seeing are a lot of pre-sold RVs. So they come on the lot before the folks pick them up. And then the other thing, which I would have never thought about, a lot of the manufacturers are going ahead and shipping the RVs to the lots, but they are missing key items.
That's ridiculous.
Because of shortages, shipping shortages and things, they have certain pieces and parts of the units that are missing. And so they go ahead and send the unit and then they'll send the part later, which that just sounds like a really bad idea to me. But yeah, even as late as this last spring, Thor is saying they've have more than 18 billion with a B in back orders after they saw a 56% increase in sales. So it's going to take a while to get all that back order up. And they even went as far as buying the company Airzel because that way they could have first dibs on air conditioners and things that they were having shortages of for when they were building.
So I think it's pretty incredible. I keep seeing these lots and they look good, but I didn't know that they were shipping incomplete
Incomplete units.
I've even heard that some RV shows are having to cancel or change their plans drastically because dealers can't get enough inventory to do the show.
Yep, the Enumclaw, which I'm not familiar with, that RV show up in Washington. They've had a couple this year, but they did cancel their Washington show because the dealers couldn't stock enough for people to look at. They're even letting them bring some of the used RVs on into the shows because that's what people have.
That's crazy.
So let's move on to some a little bit better news, but still not great news. And that is the national parks. So we all love the national parks. Just a reminder that we're getting into the really busy season for national parks. So you'll definitely want to make sure you have your reservations and have thought through where you're going and planning it, hopefully for when it's not just jam-packed. But sadly, in the last year, a couple of the parks, or not in the last year, in the last month, a couple of the parks have taken some hits. And so, like, for instance, there was a lightning strike that caused a wildfire near the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve. So they had to close that for a while. There's also been an earthquake near Yellowstone National Park.
Earthquake?
Yes. A 4.2 magnitude quake happened. And then that caused, and then they had a rockfall in the Zion National Park. So they had to close some of the scenic drive. Wow. So all of this to say, these are all changing, it's a real live place, and it's changing all the time. So you'll want to make sure that you, A, have your reservations, and B, that you check conditions and make sure that when you're going that you can get around easily.
Yeah. So, I read that even like this hike, which was the Angels Landing hike in Zion, they closed it for a while to put up new chains and do things. So those things are changing all the time because things are failing and they've got to fix them before. I mean, this is a very dangerous hike. You can see the people on that ridge there. And they got to make sure those chains are in good place.
Well, and they're all experiencing out of control
it has been crazy
visitation. So I imagine some of these things are wearing out faster than they are keeping up with.
Yep.
We talked last time about the fact that the Smoky Mountains, which has always been free, is also considering, it still is no decision yet, but they are still considering the idea of charging like $5 for a parking pass for people to park.
That's not bad.
Not bad. So in Custer State Park, which I know a lot of people head over to, good news here, they had a grand opening celebration this last week for the new Bison Center. And that's going to help tell the story of Custer State's bison herd and educate people. So it looks like it's really pretty. Yeah. And that'll be a nice place to visit and add to your list.
I'd like to go to that park.
Yes.
Let's go there.
We'll go there, definitely. You keep telling me we have to go there last. It is Memorial Day weekend, so don't forget you'll have busy roads this weekend. They're predicting 39.2 million people will travel at least 50 miles away from home this weekend. So keeping in mind that you don't want to sit in traffic because the price of gas is way too much, to make sure that you plan your travel well. Right?
Yeah, you want to stay out of that.
Yeah. We'll be sadly, I think that's about what we're going to be leaving here. And also, I mean, not only do we know a lot of folks are going to be on the road, that the Dirt, which is an app that a lot of us use for boondocking, they have found that dispersed camping has doubled in the last year, and that a lot of folks are having troubles with reserving, so they're boondocking more. So even those locations are getting crowded. So just be careful and think it through. So I didn't want to end on such bad news, so I thought this was a kind of fun story. So all of us know we make wraps and we make burritos all the time, right? And the problem is you can never keep them to stay shut, right?
Right.
These students, these smart students at Johns Hopkins University, have created Tasty Tape. It's an edible adhesive.
Get out.
Nah, right? It's food grade and it's organic, so you can eat it, and it will help tape up your burritos.
Wow.
So don't you all need that?
I'm not sure I'm going to be eating that though. But
well, it's still not available yet, but they have invented it. So we'll see if I'm sure somebody will make it sweet and sugary, and then you'll want to eat it. And then the other thing I found, which is also very good timing for this year, as we head up into northern Michigan. There is now a mosquito forecast. It's called Offcast Mosquito Forecast. Of course, the repellent off helped with this tool. Using Google Earth, it will give you a data about what the mosquito numbers are on places you're visiting. So you can go here to offcastmosquitoforecast.com and you can find out how bad the mosquitoes are going to be and see if you can find a different way of dealing with them. They in this article I read, they were talking about all the things people use, and essentially they were saying that citronella is not so great by itself, but if it is combined with some other plant oils, that it tends to do a little bit better. And those things, there's a couple of products that I know a lot of folks are familiar with. One of them is the Skin So Soft. I think it's from Avon, and then Cutter has an Advanced. So some of those things have those smells in them, and those chemical compounds help make you a little less tasty for mosquitoes.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to getting up into Michigan and seeing these mosquitoes I've heard so much about.
I'm looking really forward to going up there, but I'm hoping the mosquitoes don't find us.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. We've had some
comments
chatting going on.
Yes, and Barb does win. Yes, Barb, you're right. It was called Decoration Day. It was started after the Civil War, and by a Union general, and Ulysses Grant was the first president to celebrate it. They laid wreaths of flowers. They called it Decoration Day and put it in May because that's when flowers were in bloom, to decorate those that had fallen and honor them. And then later, as other wars happened, it developed. So it did continue to honor all of those that we lost in the different wars. But in the 1960s is when it became the Memorial Day. And that was, there was an act passed in the Senate and the House, right? So those people, Congress, thank you, that's the word. They created an act that made it uniformly Memorial Day on Monday, as well as lots of other holidays. Like that's when the President's Day holiday got moved to Monday. Okay. No matter when Lincoln's birthday actually is, he gets to celebrate it right on a Monday. So does anybody know the name of that act?
The Move Everything to Monday Act.
Very close. No. Very, very close.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So Johnny just handing out internet points willy-nilly. That's a million internet points. That's a bit much, Johnny. So let's scale that back a little bit. He had a point about more space. Yeah, they probably run out of space to just store unfinished RVs. They're
That's what I was thinking. Get them out and then bring the parts later. Yep.
How about cigar smoking? No.
What about cigar smoking?
I don't know.
That's supposed to get rid of mosquitoes. Yes, I have heard that before. They don't like that smell either, I guess.
No, I don't.
Barry knows he can't smoke cigars or he won't get any kissing.
All right, so let's see. Oh, you had another trivia. Should we do another trivia?
Well, that's the one I just said. Do you know the name of the act?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know the name of the act.
Well, people can put it in the comments as we're listening to today's topic, an interview with.
So we have an interview with Wholesale Warranties. Mm-hmm. This young lady is here to answer all of our questions. And so we did a quick little interview with her about why you should get a warranty or
we've been asked. Anyway. This is one of those questions that people ask us from time to time, and we were not the experts on it. Mm-hmm. So we went to somebody that was an expert to ask her some questions. We do want to disclose that we are affiliates of Wholesale Warranties. Yep. But we did ask her to talk in general. So hopefully this will answer some questions you have about warranties for your RV.
All right. We'll be right back. Welcome to the virtual campground, Stacey. It is so nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about you. What do you do and who do you work for?
Yeah, my name is Stacey. I'm the marketing director for Wholesale Warranties, and we are a direct-to-consumer provider of RV extended warranties for the RV community.
Awesome. And so warranties have been something I've been looking into lately, just trying to get a better handle on that. So I'm so glad to have the opportunity to talk with you. So let's just start with the basics. Could you define for us what is a warranty?
Sure. So it's one of those funny things about this business is an RV extended warranty is not actually a warranty. It's truly an extended service contract, though most people know them as extended warranties. An extended service contract or an extended warranty is a policy that agrees to pay for the cost of repairs to mechanical and electrical failures on your RV in exchange for a premium and a per visit deductible. So essentially, it's there to protect your budget from the labor and part costs of repairs that your RV will need.
Awesome. And let's talk about who should get a warranty. Is there, in your experience, have you run across situations where maybe it doesn't make sense to get a warranty? Or is there maybe a sweet spot for someone that should seriously consider getting a warranty?
Sure. So the great thing about extended service contracts or extended warranties is that there are a ton of different levels of coverage. And so while one warranty may not make sense for every RVer, there are this array of options. So somebody that is brand new to RVing, isn't going to do a lot of their own repairs, doesn't want to worry about having any repair bills coming their way, go with an exclusionary plan, which is our highest level of coverage. So that's the most comprehensive coverage. Now, there are a lot of people that are DIY RVers. That's very common. People that are mechanically inclined or handy that say, hey, I can actually, repair a lot of stuff. Why would I need a warranty? For that, that totally makes sense. You can't do your own repairs for the warranty. However, you're probably not going to do every repair, right? So if you have a Class A and a diesel engine, the most DIY RVer out there probably can't repair that or isn't traveling with the tools and the parts to do that. And so we do have a different level of coverage, something called a powertrain only policy that you'll find that covers those engine and powertrain components that you probably aren't going to repair yourself. So the fact is, RVs break down. Pretty much everybody is going to run into a mechanical issue, usually pretty early on into the RV being on the road. And so looking into an extended warranty and finding out what level of coverage makes sense for you is just a really smart move for any RVer, whether you're new to it or not, and seeing what's out there and if there is a level of coverage that fits for what you're worried about on your rig, what you like to do, your level of handiness. It's smart to look into it and see what is available for you.
Okay, that makes sense. And one of the things that when we were buying our rig, that I didn't look into enough, and I'm curious to hear what your response is. At what point should a person look into understanding more about warranties? If they are a new RVer and they haven't done the RVing world before, do they look at warranties before they even get their rig, or is it necessary to really know what kind of rig you're getting into before you can even explore warranties?
Yeah, so it's never too early to start your research. We definitely think that education is one of the things that's missing from extended warranties. And so as you're looking into getting into the RV community, read the blogs, watch videos like this one, start learning what they are and what they can do for you. Once you've kind of worked down to, okay, this is the year, make, and model that I'm looking at, that's when you can start looking at things like numbers, specific contracts. And we always recommend that you do start that research, start getting those quotes and full copies of contracts to review before you go to pick up the unit, whether that's dealership or private party. Have an idea of what you want out of an extended warranty, what that should cost before you're, kind of sitting in that office at the end of a long day at the dealership and you just want to get home and start using your RV. That's not when you want to start your education for extended warranties, right? So get ahead of the game a little bit, get some education under your belt, and that's going to make the whole process and the decision making a lot easier for you and make you a lot more confident in how you move forward.
Okay, yeah, that's a great idea. And so you touched on the education part of this, which is the whole point of doing this interview with you. So let's just dive into what are those key things that someone should look for when they are considering a warranty.
Sure. So really education is one of the main things. So work with a provider that is going to give you a full copy of coverage, explain what is and is not covered by the policy, and go through a list of things that you can expect to be covered so that you know if the things you're worried about being covered are actually going to be part of the policy that you're purchasing. Really important to feel like you've been educated on what you're buying. Another thing you want to look for is the customer service reputation of who you're buying from, as well as the policy itself. So making sure that all of the promises that are made on, that pitch or that sales call are actually backed up by customers who have made claims, filed claims, had those claims go through well, gotten their RV repaired. So you really want to look at customer service and just doing that by engaging with the RV community. One of my favorite things about the RV community is how helpful they are. I think that whether you're in a campground, a virtual campground, a forum, a blog, a YouTube page, everybody is so willing to share their personal experiences and opinions. And that allows you to really get that firsthand recommendation from other RVers. And I think finding somebody who is well recommended by RV organizations, by RVers, is a really important part of finding a warranty that's going to be there for you when you need it most.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Stacey, you mentioned earlier some exclusions. Can you tell us a little bit more about what might be excluded from a warranty?
Absolutely. I think knowing what isn't covered by a policy is as important as knowing what is. And so with pretty much any extended warranty on the market, your exclusions are going to fall into three categories. The first is going to be maintenance items. So the warranty doesn't pay for things like oil changes or cleanings or brake pads, things that wear out generally over time and are quick and easy to replace, or those maintenance services. The second category is going to be aesthetic items. So I mentioned that warranties are built to cover the cost of repairs to mechanical and electrical components. Now, things like glass or flooring or fabric, furniture, things that don't serve a mechanical purpose, those are going to be excluded by the policy. A good example of that is your awning. Now, your awning motor, the mechanized portion that brings your awning in and out, if that fails, that's going to be covered by most extended warranties. But if the awning fabric rips, that's going to be excluded because that is an aesthetic item, doesn't serve a mechanical function. And then the third category of what is excluded is going to be things that are covered by your comp and collision insurance. So your normal RV insurance, which covers weather and damages due to getting in an accident, things like that, those are going to be excluded by the warranty, and you'll take care of that with your insurance company.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Thank you. And let's talk a little bit about cost, because that's what I've seen is that they run the gamut from really expensive to maybe a little less expensive, but still pretty expensive. And I know there is a trade-off, right? You're buying a lot of security, so to speak, with purchasing a warranty. But can you give us some examples of what some of the coverages may cost, or the warranties may cost, if let's say like on our rig, which is a 2014 versus maybe a fairly new rig or a brand new rig? What would the differences be between those, and how old should a rig be before you look at it and say, well, maybe a warranty isn't justified for that age?
Sure. So cost is one of those things that's so specific to the individual RV and the level of coverage. But the things that affect the cost of your extended warranty are going to be the model year. And so on that, I think we can all agree that a brand new rig just rolling off the lot for the first time is the least likely to have some major issues. You're going to get your best price on an extended warranty with a brand new rig still under manufacturer policy. So model year is a big part of it. The older your RV gets, the more risk there is for repairs, and you are going to look at a little bit higher cost at that time. Something else that goes into it is the value of the RV. So there's obviously a cost difference between a towable and a motorhome. And then if you look at within the motorhome, a $150,000 RV versus a $500,000 RV, the bells and whistles that those RVs contain, that correlates to repair bills and to the cost of the policy. So we've got model year, we've got cost, which goes into the make and model of your RV. And then for motorized RVs, mileage is a big thing. So the more miles on your RV, again, the more stress that all of those mechanical and electrical components have taken in. And so you are going to see costs increase as your mileage goes up. So those are the main things that you want to keep in mind when you're looking at an extended warranty and what the best time to get one would be. The great thing is that for most RVers, it's never too late. And so while it does affect cost, and of course it's going to be your best price on a brand new unit, with a lot of providers, including us, we can actually go back 20 model years on a motorhome and 15 model years on a towable RV. So you're definitely not out of luck if you aren't brand new.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So let's talk about coverages. You alluded earlier to essentially two levels of coverage, I suppose, drivetrain and then maybe something that's more inclusive. So can you talk to us about what's covered, what's not covered, just a general overview of those things?
Sure. So there are actually 4 levels of coverage, and I will try to kind of give you an overview there because it can get a little boring to go into details. But the highest level of coverage, or the most comprehensive, is going to be called an exclusionary plan. Now, what that does is it gives you a list of what is not covered. And if your failure is not on that list of exclusions, it's covered. Pretty black and white, really easy to understand, and very comprehensive. There's also a comprehensive plan, which is the opposite of that, gives you a list of what is covered. If it's not on that list, not covered. Now, with both of those plans, you're going to see a very extensive list of things that are going to be covered. So everything from your engine and powertrain to your coach components, air conditioning, water heater, appliances, refrigerators, microwaves, TVs, leveling systems, slide out motors, all of those things that make your RV go and make it really comfortable to hang out in, those are going to be the things that are covered by those 2 plans. From there, we kind of drop to lower levels of coverage or more scaled back coverage. And again, they're going to kind of be the opposite of each other. So we have that powertrain only coverage that I mentioned, covers your engine and powertrain. And then we have a coach only coverage, which covers all of the stuff in the coach. Again, those appliances, air conditioning units, that type of thing. But it specifically excludes your powertrain components.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you for that overview. Now let's talk about, got all this wonderful coverage. You're rolling down the road, something breaks. How, and you may not be able to speak to other warranty companies and how they work, but specifically with Wholesale Warranties, how does the claims process work? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so it's a couple of steps. The first step, and with our policies, is to find a repair facility. And the great thing about all of the coverages that we offer, something that's really important to us, is flexibility. So you are not stuck with just a specific list of repair facilities you can take it to. You can actually take your RV to any licensed repair facility in the United States or Canada, including mobile mechanics. Licensed just means that they are in business to work on RVs and they have a tax ID number. So it can't be your very mechanically inclined friend, but it can be a mobile mechanic that comes out to you and is in the business of working on RVs, right? So we find a mechanic, they diagnose the problem, but don't start actual work. Once they have that diagnosis, that's when they'll call into your warranty company and get what's called a pre-authorization number. Pre-authorization is the golden rule of extended warranties. It is the most important thing to follow because without that, it can be really difficult to get a claim covered. Now, that pre-authorization process is not a lengthy process. 90% of our claims are actually authorized on that very first phone call from the repair facility. The other 10% are going to be those huge claims. So those engine failures, or sometimes when you have 10 different things going on in your rig, requires a couple of calls back and forth with your mechanic and the adjuster. Pretty easy to understand why. But again, 90% of calls, they get that pre-authorization number on that first phone call. They go ahead and at that point, once it's authorized, they can repair the rig, take care of everything. They'll submit a final invoice saying this is what we actually used, our parts and labor costs, and the warranty company pays that repair facility or mechanic over the phone by corporate credit card, meaning you don't have to pay and get reimbursed and they don't have to wait for payment. It's really important to a lot of mechanics, which totally makes sense. You pay your deductible and you get back on the road where you belong.
Awesome. So Wholesale Warranties, tell us a little bit about, from your perspective, are you actually carrying the paper, so to speak, on the warranty, or are you finding different providers and you're the source for finding those providers?
Yeah, so Wholesale Warranties works as a broker. So we work with individual warranty companies and we work with our customers to match them up with the extended warranty that makes the most sense for them, their budget, the type of coverage they're looking for, their RV. And so we work with a lot of different providers. What's great about that is we are very picky with those providers. We are not going to offer anybody that isn't going to be there for our customers. It allows us to create really solid relationships with those warranty companies and ensure that the coverage we're offering from them is going to be something that actually pays off for our customers. And so as a broker, that education piece comes into play, and personalization is also a big part of that. When a customer calls in, we want to know who they are as an RVer, what their desired level of risk is for claims, how often they travel, how many miles they're planning to put on their rig. We want to get to know our customers so we can match them up with that warranty company that makes the most sense for them. The other amazing thing about being a broker is we don't handle the claims in-house, but we are the only company that has an internal claims support staff, meaning when you call in and say you have questions on how a claim is going, you don't understand why something has been denied, you think it was wrongfully denied, we have that internal staff that can go to bat for you with that warranty company that's a separate entity and say, hey, this really should be covered by the contract. Let's get that covered for our customer. Or we can kind of be that go-between, that liaison between your repair facility, you, and the warranty company. Make sure everybody's on the same page and things are running smoothly. So being a broker lets us be really picky with who we work with, and it lets us support our customers in a bigger way.
Awesome. Okay, thanks. I was just curious about that, and that may be unique to Wholesale Warranties. I'm not sure, but just wanted to understand that better. Now, let's talk about you've got this wonderful warranty on your rig, and then you decide to upgrade to a different rig. How does the warranty process work? If you sell your rig, does it stay with the rig? Does it stay with the person? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so staying with the rig is a really good way to look at it. So what happens is the person selling has the choice between canceling their policy and getting a prorated refund on the unused portion, or they can transfer that policy to the new owner if they are doing a private party sale of their unit. So if you're selling directly to another person, you can go ahead and transfer your warranty with it, which is a really great perk while you're selling, and it shows that the buyers that you've had coverage, things are probably well maintained. If you're trading it into a dealership or you don't want to transfer it, you can go ahead and cancel it. And again, you get that prorated refund based on time or mileage unused of your policy.
Awesome. Thank you. I've always wondered how that worked. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about Wholesale Warranties specifically. You mentioned that you're a broker. Is there anything else that sets you apart from other warranty companies that RVers may find out there?
I think it's something that's really important to Wholesale Warranties, and it harkens back to the fact that we were actually started by a full-time RVer, is that customer service is our number one focus. We take care of our customers from that first phone call, getting to know you and figuring out what policy makes the most sense for you, all the way through the end of your 1 to 7 to 8 year policy. We are there the whole time to make things as easy as possible. We often say that we cannot make repairs and breakdowns fun for you. That's definitely something that we can't do, but we can try to take a lot of the stress out of it. And that's the financial stress by having the warranty pay for those repairs, but also some of that communication stress by having that internal claim support staff. And so being really picky with who we offer, making sure that they're going to be there for our customers because our customer is our number one focus, and making the processes as simple as possible because our owner has been that RVer, that full-time RVer who relied on his motorhome. That was where he lived and had breakdowns, major breakdowns, engine breakdowns to smaller, more trivial stuff. And he understood what it was like to want somebody on the phone to just help you walk through that next step. And so that guides every decision that we make as a company. And we are really focused on making sure our customers, again, are set up with that right level of coverage at the right price and something that fits for their travel budget and their RV lifestyle.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacey. Well, Stacey, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate you sharing the information about warranties.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been my pleasure.
Now, for those of you watching, if you want more information on Wholesale Warranties, you can go to wholesalewarranties.com/the virtual campground, and you'll find more details there. Thank you, Stacey. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
I love that campground.
It was a nice place to do interviews.
Yeah.
Though the birds got loud sometimes, just like here.
Yeah. Those darn birds. So, anyway, welcome, Joe Cool. Glad to have you here. Yeah,
thank you, Johnny. 100% thumbs up. Got it. Love it.
So let's see. Oh, one thing we talked about Memorial Day. Oh, yeah. If you have any questions about warranties, we're happy to put you in touch with our friends over at Wholesale Warranties.
We'll definitely put their link in the show notes in case you're interested. And like we said, we are an affiliate. So yes, it does benefit us if you go through that link. But of course,
Yeah.
You need to do what's right for you.
We appreciate your support.
That's right.
All right, so we were talking about Memorial Day,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to talk about flag etiquette real quick.
So this was just something I learned. I never knew this, so maybe y'all already did. But he just really wanted an excuse to show you his flags. But Memorial Day has its own unique flag etiquette. So you go out at sunrise and you raise the flag all the way to the top, full staff. Then you slowly lower it to half staff. That's to honor those that died in the line of duty. And then at noon, you briskly raise it back up to full staff, and that salutes all that served. Did you know that?
I did not know
I
that.
also found out that on Memorial Day at 3 o'clock p.m., and it didn't give me a time zone, I guess just local time, they ask you to have a moment of silence, which I don't think I've ever heard that one either. I can't imagine all the people on the lakes ever stop at 3 o'clock for a moment of silence, but that was both were new to me. So something that you learned about Memorial Day, thanks to the virtual campground.
Or you already knew it.
Or maybe you did. You are smarter than us. Most of you are.
All right, so that essentially wraps up the show. So we are going to be back next week to talk about our time on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, right?
Lots of good information about the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. I'm hoping we can get it all in one show. You never know, we might not. But we had a lot of fun doing the Kentucky Bourbon Trail.
Too much fun. Our friends, the Kempers, joined us, and we went to a lot of distilleries. And
we taped something with them at the Keeneland racetrack about our time with them, so that you can hear from more than just the Bentons about our Bourbon Trail experience. So we will be bringing that to you next Tuesday, and we'll be in the chat when we do that. And then the following Tuesday, we might be taking a hiatus. Remember, drink when you hear. Take a drink. Because we'll be in Dallas for a wedding.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The first of the next generation is getting married.
Yeah, forgot about that. Yeah,
our nephew.
That will probably be difficult to do a show from there.
Yeah, well, you will be in Houston and I will be in Dallas. Right. That'll be a little hard. So anyway, we will see what we come up for you that week. But at the very least, have a very safe Memorial Day weekend and have fun. Stay out of traffic.
Yes, and we can't let you go without reminding you about. That's all right. Can't remind you. We got to remind you about Camp Carpe Diem, at October 20th to the 23rd. This is our event that we do with livingastoutlife.com. They are really cool folks, and we did this last year in Ouray, Colorado. It is really fun time. There'll be about 40 of us or so there, and we would love to have you join us October 20 through the 23rd in Brevard, Asheville, North Carolina.
We're going to be at Rutledge Lake
RV resort type thing.
Yep. Charlie's in the house. Hey, Charlie. Yes, Jason, we did a lot of research.
Yeah.
We feel like we have to serve our TVCers by doing
some
lots
a little too much
of research.
Yeah.
I think there are 41 distilleries. We didn't make it to all of them.
No.
But I made it to at least 15.
So Deborah loves to get these passports. So we got a passport at the first distillery, and then she made it her goal to try to get as many stamps as possible. So we hit a lot of distilleries. And I'm not complaining. It was great. It was really, really good.
So you'll hear more about that next week.
Yep. So thanks for being here. Really appreciate all of you joining us. And please mention this to your traveling friends and family and tell them about the virtual campground. We've got to get our goal of 2022 by the end of the year at least.
It'd be great if you could do it by end of June as Barry's birthday present, because it's his goal.
So 2022 followers on YouTube by June 25th. That's a lofty goal.
Everybody,
we can do
go
it.
Find some people. Get them to subscribe. Yes, Charlie, I overachieve when it comes to bourbon.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Great to see you. Until we can see you again in person one day, we hope to see you in the virtual campground.
See you around the campfire.